Yo, internet dwellers, welcome back to the third dimension and Minecraft. We all know the game. We've all enjoyed it at some point of our lives, usually during our youth, and it is still relatively popular among the population with over 1 million active players playing it daily. With this comes content creators who evolve a lot of their content around this particular game, where a lot of the big Minecrafters over the years have actually garnered massive success. I'm talking astronomical. Now, what are the odds, ladies and gentlemen, that a decent portion of these Minecraft content creators were actually major creeps and abusers that have gotten canceled over the years? It is baffling how normalized it has become that a new allegation about a Minecrafter comes out pretty much every year. It's like that one scene from The Incredibles where Mr. Incredible is going through every superhero who gets eliminated, except it's Minecrafters. Like, what the flip, dude? Did these guys meet at the I Like Underage Girls and Abusing Women Anonymous? That is a joke. Before I get into this video, firstly I want to say RIP Technoblade. He was an embodiment of life in this Gotham City conundrum that exists in this Minecraft world. And, you know, shout out to Connor Eats Pants. Secondly, everything I say here, unless it has been confirmed, are merely allegations. I want to say that allegations. But we have seen, wait, should I cue up dramatic music? Fuck it. But we have seen the biggest content creators have such a depressing fall off, and is it for good reason, or are some of these allegations here to destroy the careers of the almighty Minecrafters? The almighty Minecrafters. As we can see from the most recent drama that surfaced on the internet with GeorgeNotFound, and one of the inspirations for this video is that there was more to the story than what the victim initially accused the abuser of.
It's really hard for me to talk about, but I feel like it's important for other people to hear it. I'm sorry, I'm scared.
Now, this streamer by the name of KT Bugs accused Minecraft content creator GeorgeNotFound of sexual assault, where she starts the allegations off with how scared she was. Now, instantly, I would think that the CIA or the Illuminati was after her. What my brain thoughts would automatically make me assume, based off her initial sentiments and fear for her life, is that this is some sort of Dan Schneider power dynamic that is going on between her and George, where if she didn't comply with what he wanted sexually, then she would be banned from like any future streaming collaborations or something within that extent. Now, as she progressed with her story, she talks about how the creator was 8 years older than her and far more powerful.
He was someone I had once watched, and he was 8 years older than me and far more powerful.
By manipulating her words to kind of steer the allegations towards her favor, she kept alluding to how the abuser was basically preying on her the entire night by saying things like how she was freshly 18 and had just gotten out of high school. How the creator and his friends insisted that the girls play drinking games and encouraged them to drink some more. Mind you, these girls had just came from another party already drunk, and when you're at a party and you have people that already have been drinking, what do you assume? You know, that they probably want to drink some more. You know, that's a part of the universal party law, you know, the 12 party commandments, if you will, where she says that he then all of a sudden out of nowhere slipped his hand up her shirt. She then spoke about how this was the most traumatic event that she had ever encountered in her life.
Out of nowhere, I felt him slip his hand under my clothes, sitting next to me on the couch in front of everyone. I was scared and I felt sick, either from the alcohol or from his touch. It didn't matter because my mind was a blur. That night, it was the first time anyone had ever touched me. I felt dirty in a way that I couldn't wash off.
She wrote her notes like a Hannah Baker fanfic, you know? Like what is this, man? Like, you're 18, Katie. You'll be okay, you know? You had a small sexual encounter that was a misunderstanding. That was it. You know, like silence, like who silenced you? Like the fucking Illuminati? Like nobody paid you off. To top this off, she decided to verbalize these allegations 8 months after the incident, where GeorgeNotFound had not harassed her during this time. I think they were friendly until their conversations just kind of drifted apart, you know, where he didn't try to overwhelm her with his power as a popular Minecraft content creator. You know, he wasn't sending his fucking he wasn't sending cock pics or anything like that. You know, that was the end of it. Now, granted, when she released these deep and insightful allegations, the internet was on her side and everybody was at GeorgeNotFound's neck. You know, the previous allegations from his colleague Dream did not help him either. It seemed like just another Minecrafter who got caught in the web of this sick and horrific desire for younger women. But he came back with the rebuttal, where he refutes a lot of Katie Bug's claims, where since she had been at this 21 plus party, he had concluded that she was 21 and over.
My perspective of things is that I am with people that are over the age of 21 in a scenario where we are doing things that people that are over the age of 21 are doing, like drinking. It was shown that they had this 21 plus wristband on one of their wrists. So from my perspective, it's a bunch of 21 plus year olds hanging out. I have no reason to think otherwise.
George would also highlight that there were a lot of holes and misinformation in Katie Bug's story, saying that him going up her shirt wasn't just a sudden act that he committed like some socially inadequate creep, but that they had been cuddling for a literal hour before he decided to go up her shirt slowly and cautiously as time progressed.
Again, as I mentioned before, we had previously been cuddling on this couch for around an hour, but I did place my hand on her waist under her shirt. The way it's phrased makes it sound like it just happened out of nowhere, when in reality we had been cuddling for over an hour at this point, and it was not out of nowhere. It was also around half an hour until I started moving my hand further up, and the way it's phrased just makes it seem like it happened pretty instantly and pretty quickly. There was nothing quick about it. It was very slow, and I was very cautious about it and making sure that she was comfortable throughout the process. Me and Katie were very touchy, very cuddly, and very slowly got more intimate.
And a lot more things that were just a bit over dramatic. While Katie Bug's friends left the party, she decided to stay. Like she willingly made that choice by herself. Also, she would fake screenshots to once again alleviate the allegations towards her direction, which just made her look fucking terrible.
She shows a text message that she says is from him from the night where this happened, where he says this. Obviously, this is implying that he was kind of uncomfortable with what was happening, and also that he knew her age.
What's up?
So there is a text that is claimed to be from you.
Yeah, I didn't send that text. I found out about it when you sent it to me.
She manipulated the situation to make it seem far more predatory than it actually was. She was willing to destroy this man's career over a misunderstanding. Like, bro is getting canceled for being the tickle monster. If there was something that George was going to be canceled over, it was him having worse riz than Zion Williams. Now, I do believe every victim is valid for their story, but to publicly cancel a person who's built a career in this realm for misinterpreting a flirtatious and what seemed to be consensual minor sexual act is inexcusable. She could have just handled this privately, but she decided to tell the world about it. You know, it's not like he destroyed her career. He didn't pull a Harvey Weinstein and say, you know, if you don't perform this lewd act or any act at that, then you'll never be in showbiz again. Like, come on now, let's be real here. He is not a pedophile. People will just start spewing out these terms that have a lot of negative connotation attached to them, and it is completely unfair for the person being accused, especially if it appeared to be a consensual thing between the two.
The touching that he has admitted to many times, this touching that he admitted to not asking or getting my consent before he did, he felt up my tits on a couch with other people there. He stuck his hand up my shirt, under my bra, and felt up fondled, whatever you want to say. He felt up my tits.
Now, recently, Katie came out with a new insight on these allegations and claims that George went up her shirt and fondled her breast, which, if this is true, then yes, this is 100% considered to be sexual assault. I don't understand why she didn't make these claims when she first came out with her experience on her first stream, or even her response to George in her second statement. You know, this kind of questions the legitimacy of everything and undermines the allegations, because it seems as though, you know, she is constantly altering and revising and manipulating the story to fit her narrative, especially after she left crucial information, fake screenshots, and lied. Just makes this entire situation just more problematic and confusing. It's hard to say with certainty what happened. But, internet dwellers, there are some allegations that have been confirmed and are just awful. A creator by the name of Jaishi is evident of this. Jaishi was a very successful content creator that was building and establishing himself as one of the biggest Minecrafters just a few years ago, where he was noticed by Dream, who at the time was kind of like the LeBron James of Minecraft, in which Dream decided to raid him one day and expanded his visibility to an entirely larger audience.
What? There's no way. Wait. Yo, what the what? Welcome everybody, what the? Hello and welcome to the stream everybody, what?
Dream would then make the ultimate decision to include Jaishi in his very popular and well-known Minecraft server, the Dream SMP, which during this time, every single one of its Minecrafters were hitting insane numbers. This finally included Jaishi, who was also experiencing massive growth, and everything seemed to be on the up and coming for this fortunate content creator. Until a creator by the name of Valxy wrote a tweet longer regarding her experience with Jaishi, where she claims that she was 14 when the two started to message each other, while Jaishi was 18. Immediately, things got sexual between the two, where eventually they started to send nude pictures to one another, which is illegal. That is child pornography, you know, plus the age gap was very large. This is like a senior in high school dating a fucking freshman, which is not okay. Now, with this information out in the public, Dream would then post that he removed Jaishi from the Dream SMP server, in which Jaishi would privately confess to Dream that the allegations were in fact accurate. I bet you were thinking that this was the end of it, but it gets much worse, where 18 different people in the next 24 hours would say that they had a similar experience with Jaishi. 18. Not one, not two, 18. Double digits, which is coincidentally the legal age that he apparently wasn't attracted to. I'm sorry. Jaishi was a textbook definition of a Jared from Subway, if you catch my drift. Because by the end of the week, 40 people had come forward to call Jaishi out for his predatory behavior. What in the Chris Hansen is this? Jaishi was hitting Michael Jordan in the final numbers among the predatory community. What the fuck? Now this dude knew that he was guilty. This man didn't even try to defend himself. He just deleted his YouTube videos, his TikTok, got banned from Twitch, and basically disappeared from the internet altogether. So a good way to end the story. Good riddance. Anyways, another person who has recently got into some heat and had some serious allegations taint their name was another Minecraft content creator that goes by Wilbur. And these accusations are fairly fresh, so I will emphasize that these are allegations. And, you know, there might be some future information that will come out. We do not know. But as of now, it looks very bad for Wilbur, who joined the Dream SMP in 2020. There seems to be a continuous theme between the Dream SMP and terrible allegations, but I digress. Wilbur was very successful in the world of Minecraft content creation, and even had his own band called Lovejoy that garnered 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify during this time, where they toured various venues and festivals all around the world. Now, on February 24th, 2024, this triumphant high that he was riding on would soon pivot into a downward spiral all the way into the core of the earth, where a girl by the name of Shelby Grace would bring allegations to the light about an ex-boyfriend of hers, who she left anonymous, that would abuse her. She stated that she would be physically abused by her ex-boyfriend in the form of biting, where initially it was completely harmless and fun until time passed in the relationship, where it just progressively got worse to the point he started leaving bite marks and bruises all over her body.
When I hear about physical abuse, I think of hitting. I think of hitting and punching. So I thought that this wasn't violent enough. He had this habit of biting.
Shelby would say that a red flag earlier in the relationship from this abusive ex was that he asked her if she was okay with him biting her, because he didn't want her to use it against him later and say that he abused her, which is a manipulative tactic that is used by abusers. It's like they try to move the goalposts and extend their limits to what they can do to their victim by embedding it early in their minds. That, yeah, sure, I was completely fine with this type of abuse. It was on me. I said it was okay. But as months passed in the relationship, Shelby would reveal that it would just get really bad, to the point where Wilbur would even acknowledge this abusive behavior, because he would start to leave really noticeable marks on her arms. So instead of, toning it down and changing, he decided to transition to biting her legs so that it would be avoided by the public eye. Which, if you are aware that the damage you are doing to your significant other is going to incite some sort of reaction to other people, and you attempt to hide and conceal the abuse, just showcases that he was completely coherent in knowing that his actions were bad.
His biting escalated to a point where I was covered in bruises all over my arms. And eventually he did acknowledge how bad it looked that I was covered in bruises all the time. So he stopped biting my arms as often, and he started biting my legs instead.
The two would then have a safe word that Shelby would use just in case the biting extended beyond the pain tolerance, which towards the end of their relationship, apparently it always did, where she would be yelling for him to stop. And instead of him listening and doing so, he would purposely grind his teeth or mockingly smile and just not let go, which is fucked up. He would shift the blame on her constantly, saying that her pain tolerance was too low, or that he wasn't biting too hard, and that she was just over exaggerating, invalidating her experience. Before she ended stream, she would provide clues on who this abuser was, stating that he was British, filthy, and financially used her. It wouldn't take the internet too long to figure out who it was, where there was photo evidence that both Wilbur and Shelby were relatively close and frequently together in many photos. Shelby would also claim that the abuser would bite, where many people would claim that Wilbur had a problem with, can you guess it? Biting.
He keeps biting me.
Me harder than that. Yeah. He just bites everyone. He bites you.
Another person by the username of Zoe the Trumpeter tweeted out, "Oh, I have so much I could say on this. I was also bitten and saw it happen so many times. Shelby, I support you all the way." Shelby would also highlight that he was filthy, where on the Anthony Padilla YouTube episode with Wilbur, he would fit this exact description.
The creepy, smelly, weird kid. So middle school, it was like the time of my parents' divorce. My dad didn't have a bed for me, so I slept on a futon on the floor with my dog. So I stunk. I didn't shower much. I used to sleep in my school uniform for the next day so that I could just roll out of bed and go to school.
And what was the final nail in the coffin, you ask? Well, he was British. Now, Wilbur would make his final statements, which honestly was just very self-centered and him only speaking on behalf of his experience, completely disregarding the victim's emotions, just highlighting how egotistical this man truly was, where he would say that he was deeply shocked when he heard the allegations of abuse because he felt that him biting her was consensual, playful, and reciprocally enjoyed. Yeah, maybe in the beginning of the relationship, you fucking dipshit, before you turn into like Jeffrey Dahmer trying to dig into her flesh, you know? And he would also state that he regrettably became slobbish, disrespectful, and selfish, saying that he sought therapy since the situation, which, come on, we all know that's bullshit. Now his Minecraft colleagues would basically say, you know, we don't rock with this loser, he's a walking L, and that abuse was not okay. Dream would then come out with his statements about the situation, claiming that Wilbur did not take accountability for anything and was not apologetic about the abuse that he caused to the victim, and was extremely disappointed in a person that he used to do content with. This would then cause Wilbur to lose over 200,000 subscribers in a month, which is a record-breaking loss if you ask me. Since then, Wilbur kind of vanished from the internet and has not posted in the last month since his statement, so RIP Bozo. Now, rewinding back to Dream's statement about Wilbur, we would see that the comments were a lot more negative towards Dream himself. And I'm sure you're asking, why is this? What did Dream do? Well, internet dwellers, that brings us to our last Minecraft creator that had some damaging allegations about him. Now, Dream was the Mr. Beast of Minecraft. Nobody can dispute that. This man made careers and established his own orbit in the world of content creation for years. It wasn't until his face reveal where he started to become a little bit of a meme, but that is unimportant in this video. Internet dwellers, we are here to speak about the Dream allegations. And it might seem like I'm not taking it serious, and you'll understand why later, but for now, let's get into the mood. Not that mood, hold on, what the fuck, hold on, I gotta change this. It all started when Dream and this guy, not that dude, this guy, Nicholas Cantu, who was the voice actor for the Amazing World of Gumball, had an argument at a party that carried all the way to their Uber ride home. Nicholas Cantu, who is underage, had been drinking, but let's be real here, who hasn't, you know, been drinking underage? I was an alcoholic before I was even 21. Anyways, their resentments would eventually carry over to Twitter, where Nicholas Cantu replied to a fake Dream post in which he replied, "I want you dead." He would then quote tweet this parody account and say, "Bro, when you're an actual Jared from Subway, you can't take a joke about being a Jared from Subway." Mind you, this was a parody account. All he had to do was click on the account and say, "Oh, hey, oh shit, this isn't fucking Dream." You know, this guy wanted to smoke. Dream would then respond to these damaging allegations and say, "I am not a Jared from Subway. You're racist and you physically assaulted me." Where Dream would then post a video of a drunk Nicholas Cantu spewing out racist remarks and even threatening everybody in the car, saying that he was going to kill them.
Shit that's happened tonight, it's not gonna make it a fucking like brutal marauder. I'm not gonna be a brutal marauder. I'm gonna like literally like either you're gonna be paralyzed or you're gonna be dead. Like, I'm serious.
Now the internet would not be on Dream's side, all seemingly turning against him, saying why was he drinking with a person who was under the drinking age, and just spewing out a lot of negativity towards his way. Like, does anybody have lives away from the internet? You know how common that is? You go to a party, you'll see a lot of people under the age of 21. And what? Are you supposed to like police them and parent them? That is not in the responsibility of that person. They were obviously responsible enough to take an Uber. So what's the problem here? Now, why would the voice actor for the Amazing World of Gumball make such bold accusations? Well, internet dwellers, if you do not know, several allegations came out after Dream's face reveal on October 3rd, 2022, where this girl named Anastasia claimed that her and Dream were messaging each other during quarantine, and that she utilized this screenshot from Dream's TikTok showcasing that he was in her phone contacts. Now, this was quickly refuted as people provided evidence that detailed Dream's TikTok wasn't even associated with his real number, but a Google Voice number. To top this off, she was 18, and the only messages that they had between each other were like friendly Twitter DMs. Just a lot of inconsistencies. I mean, you know how easy it is to change the contact name in your phone, so this one was easily dismissed. Now, people would wonder why he would respond to fans in the first place, and he actually had a very good response to this, where he said that when he was a smaller content creator, he would message a lot of people that enjoyed his content quite frequently, which, you know, there's nothing harmful about interacting and building camaraderie in your community, especially when the messages were just like these short interactions. The second allegation came from a user by the name of Aylin_MC1, known as Amanda, that claimed Dream and her sexted from January to February 2022 before she turned 18, where they would send sexually explicit Snapchats to one another.
He sent me a picture of his, and he sent me a picture of him nutting.
Dream would provide a lot of his statements about the situation in his video titled The Truth, in which he provides every little detail about the situation and even included his old Instagram DMs that the two shared, which honestly seems like just a normal interaction between a fan and a creator, where, as you can tell, he was being polite in replying and still, you know, keeping his distance. She would literally message him for years, where he would occasionally reply back, which people question, you know, like, why would you reply back in the first place? Why did you continue to reply? In response to this, Dream stated that since they messaged early on in his career when he was a smaller creator, that Instagram has this feature where he was unable to fully hide or delete her DMs permanently. So her DMs would basically just spawn. He would delete it, it would spawn again. So yeah, she was basically stuck there for forever. Now, as they periodically messaged each other, she was finally able to get his Snapchat by talking about music, which was something that he was very passionate about in early 2022, which is the time frame from her accusations that the sexting occurred. Amanda would post these photos as evidence where he complimented her, saying she was gorgeous as fuck and that she was fine as hell, but as detailed by the date, February 18th, this was after she turned 18, which is not okay because she was literally fresh out the oven. Should I word it like that? That's weird. Even then, Dream would provide more evidence in his video where he said that he retrieved the Snapchat data logs that would showcase that these messages were not included in their small conversation. He would conclude that since he stopped messaging her, that she grew spiteful, and then since a lot of people were jumping on the hate Dream train after his face reveal, it was easier to hop on board because there was a lot of evidence, especially after the supposed allegations, that she still was a fan of him and other Minecraft content creators. Now, you would expect that to be the end, but with these Minecraft content creators, there never seems to be an end, because after the back and forth with Nicholas Cantu, an account that went by Burner22 would supposedly expose Dream's Snapchat, which is where the infamous Dream moans would surface. Dream would refute these claims and would state that these were false and that the voice was either faked or AI generated. He would then show how easy it is to fake DMs and Snapchat stories. The account Burner22 would state that they did not know Jamie, which was the name of the person that supposedly sent this video evidence, and did not want to wrap her into this mess. Yet, there was no proof to these accusations or messages from Jamie to provide evidence to back these claims that were just consumed in defamation. Where Burner22, just like Amanda, would say that they were going to the police for an investigator, but these were all just whimsical and non-existent threats That never happened. As indicated by Dream's video, The Truth, where he would call and get information from the police, in which they stated that he was not in their system at all, both times. Now, for any sensible mind, you would put 2 and 2 together and realize, hey, these might be made up. But the internet, as showcased from Dream's response on Wilbur's post, the internet is full of idiots. This man literally made a full-length movie defending himself from all of these accusations with a solid case and evidence for every single claim against him. And in my opinion, I believe him. I don't think he's what the collective hive mind on the internet claim him to be. Just do a little research and you'll realize that too. This just showcases that with more money comes more problems. Biggie Smalls. And also, don't be a Minecrafter. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You are going to get an allegation about you at some point in time. Anyways, that's all for me. I'm off to another dimension. See ya.